going on, Los Angeles? Ryan Dyrud here with the LA Football Show here on the LA Football Network. Wanted to jump on quick here for an immediate reaction. Robert Woods just announced a couple hours ago now, traded to the Tennessee Titans for a 2023 sixth round pick. We thought this move potentially was coming back when Allen Robinson was signed just a couple days ago. We talked about it on the show a few days ago, myself, Ryan Anderson, and Jamal. We thought there would definitely be a move within the wide receiver room. Didn't know if it would be Robert Woods or Van Jefferson. The thought was Van might get a little bit more value because of youth, because of what his contract is, because of upside. Robert Woods obviously is a phenomenal player, phenomenal talent. But because of coming off an ACL tear, because of his contract, he's over $15 million in cap space this year. Teams would probably want him for his talent, but because of the cap and the injury, his worth in football business terms wasn't going to be as high. But, when you look at bringing in a guy like Allen Robinson, and obviously he's the full details still aren't out on the contract, which is kind of interesting. But average of 15 million per, they had to move someone to free up cap. And so we'll talk a little bit. Again, it's going to be a quick video. I just want to give a quick immediate reaction here, as we'll have more stuff on LA Football Network all kind of weekend. And, unfortunately, just before this, Matthew Stafford's on his extension. So there was some elation, some happiness. Like, all right, cool. Stafford's here for the long term, a 4-year extension on top of his 1 year left on his deal. So 5 years here in LA. That was a deal that puts him at about 40 million per. With the guarantees, it comes out to a 3-year extension for 42 million per. So a nice lucrative extension, but he's not taking the highest, is not the highest paid quarterback, which I think is good. I mean, he left money on the table. What's hard with contracts is, it's not the best player makes the most money. It's what the market is at that. Like when are they becoming free agents? So it's always the right time. And like Dak, what he signed his contract? Was it 2 years ago? And he was the highest paid quarterback. And now him and Stafford are equal as the 5th highest paid quarterbacks. It's just, it just goes up and up and up. But anyway, so it's like we're happy at that. And just a few hours later, hear the news with Robert Woods. And, what an LA icon, man. What just a great human being, did great stuff in the community. He played at USC. I assume most of you know, but for those that don't know, at USC Trojan, fight on. Wore number 2 there and was a elite player for the Trojans, drafted in the 2nd round by the Buffalo Bills. And with the Bills, never really took off. Wasn't a bad receiver, but just didn't really take off. Again, these are Bills teams. This was pre-Josh Allen. So this was some bad quarterback play, and ends up becoming a free agent and comes back to LA for the Rams when they first moved back here and became, fans fell in love with him again. And he wasn't just a fan favorite, but he was damn good. A very, very good receiver for this team. We have the shirt on the website where actually, you can get it, use the promo code Bobby Trees for 20% off. But the iconic moment at the Coliseum against the Minnesota Vikings with a touchdown and YG's there in the front row and they, slap high fives. To me, I was at that game. To me, that will be in this era. Obviously, we can go through the annals of history with Dodgers and Lakers, but within the LA football era of the last decade, which, you basically only can go back 6 years, that is one of the most iconic moments. I just think that was so cool. You blend LA football with LA culture and music in one photo with him and YG both being LA guys celebrating a touchdown at the LA Coliseum. So we have that, and what he's meant for this team as a leader, as a person. Obviously on the football field, he brings more than just his receiving prowess, but as a run blocker and a leader in the huddle. Just so many good things we could say. So this is an end of a amazing era. It just shows the true unfortunate business that is football. I mean, business that is business. This is in every business world a lot, most of the time, right? And when you look at it from a business sense, I'll just say this: I don't love it because I love Bobby Tree, so I don't love the move. But when you look at it from a business and football sense, because many will say, well, why would you even sign Allen Robinson? You're paying him $15 million. That's what you're paying Robert Woods. Like, why? Is Allen Robinson better than Robert Woods? And that, I think that's a true debate you could get into. Who's actually better? Now, again, Robert Woods in this system with better quarterback play. I know, not saying Goff was a Hall of Famer, but Goff was an upgrade from what he had in Buffalo for those years. And Goff obviously had some very good years here in LA. And then obviously getting Matthew Stafford this year, who he only played with a few games, but it's kind of up and down anyway before he got injured. But in this system was just a perfect fit. Before that, not as good play. Allen Robinson has had some very good years with some pretty poor quarterbacks, with Mitchell Trubisky, with Blake Bortles, putting up 1,000-yard seasons. But I think it's more about the style of play. So when you look at think of this. This is how you got to look at it. I know Allen Robinson was a free agent, but look at it as a trade, essentially. The Rams got Allen Robinson and a 6th-round pick for Robert Woods. I think that's the way you have to look at it. And so when you look at it like that, what value do you see? Or do you think that's a good trade? If you take out the sentiment of what Robert Woods means to this city and this team and just look at pure football, I mean, X's and O's, I would say it's an upgrade because of the difference of style of play Robinson brings. Robinson's a bigger receiver, 6'3". Robert Woods is 6 foot. Allen Robinson is a more, go up and get it. He can high point the ball, made some amazing acrobatic catches. Robert Woods is a very kind of tactician, great route runner, good, he's a good X receiver, but he's, good over the middle. He's not a burner, but he's faster than his 40 time may lead to be. I mean, it's hard to compare because they're both very good. I just think Allen Robinson maybe brings something else, because when you look at what Robert Woods does well, Cooper Kupp does the same thing, but better. Again, we're talking strictly just football X's and O's because I absolutely love Robert Woods, but I think they're very similar players, Cooper Kupp and Robert Woods, that is. Whereas I think Cooper Kupp and Allen Robinson are very different players. Not very different, but different enough. So in that sense, when you really put it in a vacuum and you say, okay, the Rams essentially, because the contracts are very similar, $15 million a year. Again, we don't know the cap hit for this year yet because the full details haven't come out for Robinson. And part of that could have been because they needed this trade to happen to clear cap to even sign him. We don't know. But when you look at it like that, Allen Robinson and a 6th-round pick for Robert Woods, then it doesn't seem as painful. Because you hear, wow, we just traded Bobby Trees for a 6th-round pick in 2023. Are you kidding me? That's all the value we could get? But remember, value is also tied to what the contract attached to the player is. And so Woods having a still pretty high dollar figure, and you know what, let me pull that up right now, but still having a high dollar figure, an opposing team, they have all the power because, they're taking on that player's contract. And so Woods has, okay, so this is the last year of guaranteed money, 13 million guaranteed. He has a 13.5 cap hit. And then he's the next 3 years remaining. So he has his contract through 2025 is 13, 15, 17 cap hit, but no guarantee. So the team can get out of that. But the 13.5 cap hit this year. So you think a team is taking that on. And so they're like, yeah, well, I'm not going to give you a high pick because obviously the talent's there. And you look at a guy like Amari Cooper, who the Cowboys just traded to the Browns. They swapped 6th-round picks, and the Browns gave up a 5th. So basically, Amari Cooper for a 5th. I mean, we could argue who you think is better, Amari Cooper or Robert Woods. I think that's a fair argument. They're both talented receivers. But that's why I think when people are freaking out like, oh my gosh, all you got was a 6. Are you kidding me? Robbery. And it's because of the contract that was still on there. Still, only 13 guaranteed, but still a lot of money because if the Titans decided to pay him this 1 year and then cut him, if they gave up a 3rd round pick for him, it's like, well, then they got to keep him and pay him. So that's kind of the logic that goes into it. But sad day, sucks to lose him. But when you look at it, like I said, I'll keep saying it. Essentially, Allen Robinson and a 6th round pick for Robert Woods. That was essentially the trade. I know Robinson was a signing, but that's how you got to kind of look at it because the cap number is actually extremely similar. 3 years left, on both deals. More guaranteed for Robinson, obviously, because it's a new contract, but the life of it is almost identical. 3 years and how much is remaining. So, yeah, we'll see how it plays out. We'll see again. This is where I'll be really interested to see. And this is kind of the last thing I'll end with. Was this move to free up more money to go after a Zadarius Smith, a Stephon Gilmore, a Patrick Peterson, a quality pass rusher, corner? I know Bobby Wagner, people are talking about, I can't see them doing this move for an inside backer. I just can't. I mean, it wouldn't shock me. Nothing shocks me anymore with Les in the Rams. But I think it would be more so for a corner, which they desperately need. Because as of right now, you're going in with Robert Rochelle as your outside starter next to Jalen Ramsey with David Long Jr. as your nickel slot corner. Long Jr. is your nickel anyway. That's what he played last year, but I don't feel great. Rochelle could make a huge jump, but I don't think you want to go into the season with him as your starting corner. If he dominates in camp and takes it over, fantastic. That means he's developed phenomenally. But you don't want to go, and obviously they'll draft someone, but you don't want a second-year Robert Rochelle, a young David Long, and a rookie, and then Jalen Ramsey. So I think they have to get someone. I have to get a corner. So was this move to free up to do that, get a defensive set piece that they really need? Or was the cap at the point so bad that basically this move was just to free up money for Robinson? Like they could have come to terms and said, you know what? We just won a Super Bowl without Robert Woods. He got injured right when we traded for OBJ. So as much as we love him, as great as a person he is, we won this without him. Let's go get a receiver that adds something different to what we don't have, which Allen Robinson does. But in order to do that, we're essentially trading Robert Woods for Allen Robinson. Because it could be that. I know everyone's saying, and I don't know the numbers yet. I don't know. I mean, we don't know how much cap they have. Over the cap says they're 800 in the hole. Spotrac says they're like 9 million still in the hole. So the updates aren't coming out yet. And obviously with the Stafford extension, that's going to help. Whitworth retiring obviously helps. Aaron Donald extension's coming soon. We know that's going to happen, I think, very soon here. That will help. But at this point, this move could have strictly been to have enough money for Allen Robinson. And that could be why Allen Robinson now, here we are 3 days after the signing, and the full numbers aren't disclosed yet. And it could be because it's not actually official. I'm not saying it is or isn't. That's just all, thinking out loud. So I hope it's the former, and that this move was to free up money to go get someone else. They basically said, okay, this is what we're doing. We're signing Allen Robinson. We're going to move Robert Woods now to get more money to go for someone else. But it could be as simple as basic trade. Robinson for Woods. That was the value they saw. So we'll have a lot more on it. Obviously, we will keep you posted. Keep it right here at the LA Football Network. Sad day to see Robert Woods go, but, we'll have to kind of see it unfold and see what happens. Because, if this is a setup for another move, and, it's the nature of the beast, unfortunately. That's all I can keep saying. So, again, I just don't love it because I love Robert Woods. I love who he is as a person, as a man. It'll be sad to see him go. At least he's going to, an AFC team that won't really affect the Rams too much. So, best of luck to Trees. Wish him nothing but the best. Thank you for his service and time here in LA, and we'll see what happens next. So, bummed to see him go. I don't love the move, but I don't hate it because I can understand where they're coming from. I really do like the Allen Robinson signing. The more I think about it, the more I like it. The more you really look at what he can bring to this offense, the different style of receiver he is in this offense, it makes more sense, especially if this was the plan all along. So we will see it unfold. We'll see what other moves they make. We know they aren't done. We'll just see if they have to do something else to clear more money, or if this move gave them money to go get someone big on defense, which I'm sure it'll break anytime. So we'll see. Anyway, guys, thanks for checking this out. This is Ryan Dyrud, the LA Football Show. Make sure to tune in to the show every Monday, Wednesday, Friday at 5 p.m. Subscribe wherever you listen to podcasts. Obviously, the YouTube page, LAFB Network, and LAFBnetwork.com houses all of it. You can find it all there. Just go to LAFBnetwork.com. You'll see everything. So appreciate you all. Enjoy your weekend. We're about to go out to dinner. I was like, I got to jump on here quick and give a reaction. We're going to go celebrate someone's birthday. So enjoy your Saturday, and we'll talk to you guys all soon.